Hey everyone, so I just wanted to give some instructions for a specific assignment. So, obviously, the biggest thing on everybody's mind right now is the coronavirus and everything that's kind of happened as a result from it. Our schools wanted us to talk with everyone about it, and so I kind of wanted us to look at it from an approach for my classes in terms of biological science. And I felt like this lesson worked out well for each of my classes, so I've assigned it to multiple classes of mine this week. So if you've already completed this assignment for one of my other classes that you have me for this semester, you do not have to do it multiple times. But if you only have me for one class this semester, please make sure you at least do this once. Um, so we're going to be reading a Newsela article. So I've got the link for it here. You just click on that and it'll take you to the Newsela article. Don't forget that with Newsela, in order to read the entire article, you will need to log on using your school Gmail account. But this article is called Why Everything is Closing for Coronavirus. It's called Flattening the Curve. And again, it has a diagram when we're talking about flattening the curve that's used here. And we have one question that's kind of related to that specifically. So let's look over the questions for it really quick. The article mentions how event and store closings due to COVID-19 can affect the income of many businesses. What is your personal opinion? So again, no right or wrong answers here. This is just your own take on the impact the closures have on people who don't own businesses but work for them. The article focuses on the business owners, but what do you feel about as far as how workers would be are affected by this? I know some students of ours do work for some of these businesses, so how has it been affecting you or maybe members of your family? Think about that piece. Again, kind of looking at it a little bit from a social studies point on that part, but I still think it's applicable. Number 2 here, the article compares COVID-19 to influenza or the flu. If you've heard about people getting the flu, that's influenza. Is influenza considered a virus just like the coronavirus, or is it caused by something else? So this one you'll want to look a little bit outside of the article for the answer on it. Number 3, like I said before, look at the diagram about flattening the curve. This one here. The capacity of the healthcare system, which they list right here, that line, excuse me, is similar to resources that organisms like plants and animals depend on in their environment in terms of their impact on a population. This is the concept of carrying capacity, where the availability of resources determines how many organisms can survive in a given population. So just like for an animal to survive in the wild, it needs a certain amount of things like food, water, and shelter. For our population that's sick right now, they need a certain amount of medical resources to be able to take care of them. The whole idea is that if more and more people get sick, more and more people are going to the hospital, it uses up those resources. What would be the long-term impact on our healthcare resources if people don't use the protective measures the graph mentioned? So like hand washing, again, 20 seconds or more, and social distancing. So again, making sure that you are keeping yourself apart from other people as much as possible. When you are in the same company as other people, that you are at least 6 feet apart from them for your safety. Number 4, what is the term for the type of scientists who make predictions about how fast diseases will spread? So again, this one is in the article. Just look for the term for the type of scientists. 5, the article explains that there is a reason why the number of confirmed cases of coronavirus appear to be lower than they may actually be. What is the reason? So again, and I should have mentioned this earlier, this article is from mid-March of 2020, so already some of the details aren't up to date on it, and some things have changed since then. But at the time that they were writing this, the number of confirmed cases appear to be lower than they might actually be, so reporting was having some issues. But it does talk about in the article what the reason for that might be, so look for that in the article. 6, what impact do you think inaccurate numbers from the cause in number 5 would have on people's understanding of the coronavirus? So if you heard that the number of confirmed cases seem like they're pretty darn low, how do you think that would affect people's understanding of it? How would it affect their choices? 7, what do you think some of the challenges are? What do you think are some of the challenges to people who need to stay home to flatten the curve? You know, we talk a little bit about how not everybody is really capable of doing this, especially so if we look at healthcare workers, they still have to go to work to help take care of these people who are sick. So think even beyond that. What are some of the challenges for people who need to stay home? for that matter. Does it make them not able to do everything that they normally be able to do? Why is it that some people might not choose to do this? Why might they be between a rock and a hard place, like have to make a hard decision about, do I stay home or do I go out to do this thing? And then number 8, what solutions would you offer people for the challenges you mentioned in number 7? I should say number 7 there, not number 6. I'm going to correct that right now. So what solutions would you offer people for the challenges you mentioned in number 7? So again, if you've thought of some good ways to help people with flattening the curve, good ways to occupy yourself at home, good practices that we utilize, that would be some of the good stuff that we can put here in number 8. So just as an additional note, please do make sure that you're taking these precautions seriously. There are lots of people, even in our local area here in Topeka, that are getting sick, and you need to be careful about it. You can see I've even changed a little bit. I've trimmed off my beard here. We're getting face masks here in the mail here before too long that me and my girlfriend ordered. So again, I shaved off my facial hair to make sure that the mask will fit on my face a little bit more properly. We all need to be looking at these precautions and taking them seriously. Even if it's not going to be something that ends up affecting your health, it could affect the health of other people in the surrounding area. So please do take these things seriously. Do find out ways to connect with people still. I recommend connecting with people online. Use your phone. Use the Zoom accounts that the school has provided for you for keeping in touch with friends. That shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be an issue. So do find ways to connect with people, but try to stay home as much as possible. So I hope you do take this seriously, and I hope that this assignment, again, is one that makes sense. If you do have any issues with it, please feel free to email me, call me, or you can join the Zoom meetings that we have for our science department office hours every 9:30 to 10:30 every weekday.